Release the Kraken!
Welcome back, fellow game designers. In the last one, we set up our inventory. So now we can, if I hit play, we can see the inventory pop up. And we can turn that off. A couple things, of course. If you open your inventory and you click, and then you exit your inventory, you don't get your control back until you click again. So we have to fix that. And we want items to actually go into the inventory. So we're going to go ahead and get that going as well. First of those, let's jump into our inventory widget here. Where are you? Where are you? There you are. Inventory. And then jump over to the graph here. And up at the top, we have this setting where we disable our input. And then down here, we re-enable input. What we can do to guarantee that we're going to be able to jump right back into the game without having to click, we just want to transition out of our current mode into a different mode. So from your player controller, then we want to set input mode, and we're going to do this one as game only. And we might change that to UI in game once you set up the belt, but we'll do that when we go to it. Yeah, that should be good. This one to here. And then when we go to, when we open the menu, let's change this to, we'll do set movement, or sorry, set input mode to UI and game only. And then the widget for focus will be the one that we're currently in. So let's do self. All right, so I'm in. If I click and drag, nothing happens. If I exit, movement is back. Okay. Good enough, good enough. And if you want to label these, no, it's kind of redundant to name it the same thing, but if you want to, just so you know it's a different piece. So set movement mode for UI, or should be input mode, sorry. And this one, set input mode for game. Good, good, good. Jump out of there. Now let's go into our block parent. So go to our blocks, block parent. And we should have some code already in here. Yep. So just before the tick, it really doesn't matter what order you put these in, but I like having the tick be the last thing. Old programming habit. Let's go ahead and do a custom event. We'll call this add block to player inventory. So add block to player inventory. So from here, we're going to cast to the player. So cast to player. We want to get the player character. And then from our player, we want to get the inventory component. So get inventory component. And then we're going to call the add item function from our inventory. So add item to inventory. And it wants to know what item information to add, and we're going to take our block structure here. I'm just going to pass that in. Okay. And then we need to call this function. So where you call this function is up to you. The most convenient place to put it for right now would be inside of the health component, because that's the one that determines when the object is being destroyed. So I'm going to go down to the systems here. Let's go to the health component. And So we have our take damage function. And then near the end of this, we have, if you're dead, we have this little piece here that really only works for the block. It checks to see if it should be destroyed on death, and if so, it disappears. Otherwise, this would be set, and you would have the player, do a death animation or something like that. So this area we know is safe for anything we want to send to the block. So we can use this to do that. So let's go ahead and cast to our block. So cast to block parent. And then for our object type, we're just going to use our get owner here. Go ahead and plug that in, because we're using this to search for the block anyway. And then from here, from our as parent, we're going to do add to the player inventory. Go ahead and compile and save. And you can use either of these. So you can use the get owner for the destroy, or you can use the get owner or the block itself for the destroy. Either one is fine. Once it gets to here, it's the same object, so you can really just pass this in here. But either one is fine. So we'll save. Let's go ahead and test this now. So if I open my inventory, nothing in it. If I close my inventory, everything's working. And if I destroy this concrete block here, hey, it's in the inventory. And if I destroy this dirt block, hey, we got a dirt block. Grass block, hey, we got a grass block. So all of that is working. Awesome, awesome. Okay, now let's go ahead and see if we can get these to stack. So let's go ahead and exit that. Let's jump over into, let's see, what are we using? We have our inventory component here. Let's go ahead and open that up. And let's go to add item to inventory. All right, so we have our add item, and as that's being fed in here, we're checking a loop, and we're looping through all the items currently in the inventory, all the spaces available, and we're checking to see if there's an empty space. So if the type, which is what we're checking here, is equal to none, which means there's nothing in it, then we add something to it. However, if there is something in there, so off of this false, let's go ahead and make a new branch. I'll run this off of false. I'm going to grab this equal sign, let's duplicate that as well, plug it in. Okay, so now we're going to check to see if the item coming in is going to be the same as what's already in the slot. So if we look back at our logic here, this one feeds into this loop, right? This loop is checking what's currently in the inventory. So that's what this is, right? So it's currently in the inventory against what is coming in, which is off of this guy. If you want, you can set this to a variable so you don't have to fiddle with crisscrossing wires, which is what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go ahead and just grab this, promote to variable, pass it in. Let's go ahead and break this pin. And this is already named as item to add, which is convenient. And come down here, I'm going to grab my item to add, do a get. Let's go ahead and split the pin. And we're going to see if the item to add, if the name or the type of it is the same as what's currently in the inventory. Okay. You can label this if you like. Check if item in slot is the same as item being added. This one is, check if slot is empty. Okay, so if it is the same, we're going to take this. Where are you? We'll duplicate that. We'll run it off of true. And then I need the inventory. I'll grab you. Plug that in here. The item needs to be from our array, so that has to plug into here. And then I'm going ahead and open this up. And this time we're going to pass in all the stuff, except we want to update the item count. So the name will go in here. Description can go in. This can go in. So on. And then this one will be the item count. So item count, we'll do a plus plus. And we'll go ahead and run this, make sure we're running it. Pilot, save it. Let's go ahead and test this here. Alright, so we have, there's one loaded up. And, let's try another one. Okay, so we can see that the block is being added. So we got this one added. We see the blocks being added. If we add another one, we're not getting an extra block. So we know the stacking is occurring. So why is the number not showing up? Let's see. So our count's going in. Oh, I see what I did. Okay, so this is the count from the current block. This is the count of our inventory. It's good if we label stuff, right? So this is the actual inventory. This is the current block coming in. So we don't want to get the count from him. We want to get the count from the inventory, which is this guy. Compile that, save it. So now if I grab a block, 2. Okay, so they are showing up. 3, 4. Okay, so then the other issue we have, if I grab this green one here, I got one green one, and now I have 2 green ones, but we don't see it. And I don't have another green one to place. But we have our starting value of our blocks. If we go to our block parent, so in the block parent here, let's go to our block structure. And you can see that we set a default value of 0 because when we start, we don't really have any blocks. But we really should have put 1 in here. So there are a couple ways to do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the initial structure. So system, block structure. I'm going to change the count to 1. Save that. Whenever you modify a structure, you do have to go back and compile everything that uses it. So compile. This one doesn't call it, but we'll compile anyway. Inventory compile, we'll compile that. And then let's go back through our blocks here. We only have a couple, so okay, that's been compiled. This new one, if it ever opens up like this, just hit open full blueprint. But you can modify what we need right here. You can see we don't need to compile here, but I'm going to go down and change the count to 1. Then compile. So that's my cobalt. Get rid of that one. Let me do my dirt. 1. If it bugs you, you can open full blueprint so you can have access to it. And then let's get the other one. Default is 1. Compile, and then the grass. Default is 1. Compile. And since we changed the structure, the next time we create a new one, so if I go up to my block parent and create a child, and I'll call this gold. I don't know, just something. You'll see that the child will come in with it preset, so it'll be there. Now I have to make a gold one, so it's okay. But now we should be able to come in, add the first block, and then if I add a second block, hey, there's my second one, third one, fourth one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and call it here. And the next one we're going to go ahead and look at how to drag and drop items in our inventory, and then we'll get into adding them to our hotbar and selecting and placing blocks. Okay, so stay tuned, and I shall see you next time. Hey guys, thanks for checking out the channel. Misty and I both thank you. If you enjoyed that video you just watched, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, I'm getting into NFTs. Those are big these days. I was thinking about creating my own coin, but we'll get into that at a later date. But NFTs are pretty hot right now. I'm converting my artwork to NFTs. You can see my Rarible page right here. I've only got 4 items, but I'm adding one as they go. They're not cheap to make, so gotta make them as they go. If you want to support the channel other ways, of course, there's Untitled Studios merch, which you can see right here on my Teespring store, as well as Amazon. Speaking of Amazon, I have my books up there under Bruce RF, which is my pen name. Life and Times of Donna Martin, as well as The Guardian's Path of Ascension. You can flip through those and see the reviews, and grab a copy, read it, tell me what you think. It helps me out as an author. It also helps me out as, everything goes back into the stuff that I'm doing. So more content for you. If you want to keep up with me throughout the day, or just kind of see what's going on in life, hit me up on Twitter under BruceRF1. Again, that is my pen name. If you want to see what's going on my blog, ronflowersjr.me, you can see what I'm writing about, what else is going on in life, difficulties that I have with my projects that I'm working on. A lot of my devlog stuff kind of goes there before it comes here, so it's another way of kind of getting into that. I do also have a Patreon where I release content early if you want to get access to things ahead of time, because most of the stuff that I produce, I do things on Sundays and I post on Wednesdays most often, but it goes to Patreon first, so it's kind of there usually a week or so ahead of time, and then it has a release schedule. So if you want to see things early, go there. Let's see, what else is going on? You can also follow me on Facebook under you can do the Lame Duck Studios Facebook or the Bruce RF Facebook. Both of those are available. And a lot of these links are down in the description, so if you want to just hit those up and just click on them and follow them through, that's another way of getting there. Also, we are at 1,300 subscribers. Woo! We're this close to 10,000. But small milestones first. Let's get to 2,000 subscribers, and then we will continue our road building toward that 10,000 milestone. That is going to be pretty awesome for this channel, my humble channel. So yeah, that's all I have for you on this outro. It's a bit of a long one, but a lot of stuff going on. Anyways, stay tuned, and I shall see you next time.